So the next question comes from Cindy, who's having issues and struggling with pricing as it is in regards to her service. She says she lives in Utah, where most people thinking of hiring a wedding planner think it's too expensive. And she sees packages from other planners that she knows that the average person in her area won't pay those types of fees. She was thinking of doing an hourly rate and asked me my opinion. What do I think? Do I think an hourly rate it is good to get clients to hire you? Pricing is probably one of the most talked about things. Pricing is really something that's individual to each business. Pricing needs to be based on a few things. Of course, your experience, what you feel your art and your time is worth. But it also needs to be driven by your local market and the price for things. You certainly can't expect, someone in a market where, things are less expensive and the cost of living is, or the average wage might be lower than another area to pay really high prices for things. So in evaluating your pricing structure, it needs to be based on where you are geographically, what your experience is, and then also what services you're offering, and what you deem your art to be worth. And that's a really kind of, out there, the last one at least, what your art is worth, is kind of really out there in terms of what's the price? How do you know what your art is worth? How do you know what that painting above me is worth? Well, the artist sets the price, and that's what they consider it to be worth. They also keep in mind who their clientele is, what they're going to pay for art like that, and things like that. So in terms of setting your price, and your question about an hourly rate, I don't think there's anything wrong with having an hourly rate. I have an hourly rate. I also have package services. I don't base my service price off a percentage of the event. I base it on a flat fee that starts at a certain price and then rises based on the event and the logistics of the event and the number of people and all that kind of stuff. And I also have an hourly rate for people who are looking to hire me for one meeting or looking for additional services that I bill at an hourly rate. So I do think that you can absolutely charge an hourly rate. Make sure you're charging what you're worth per hour so that you're not, essentially making no money or, God forbid, making less money than what it costs to do business. But I think an hourly rate is perfectly acceptable. It's really about your location and the services that you're offering, and only you know that. I don't know what the climate is like in Utah, so I can't speak to that, but I can tell you what it's like here. And my pricing structure and the way my pricing works is based on my local climate, type of clientele that I attract, what they can afford, their economic status, what they expect, and things like that. So you have to kind of determine all those things before you set your pricing. So Courtney has a question about the QC school. She asks if the courses are time consuming and if you can go at your own pace. You can absolutely go at your own pace. We want you to take your time and provide thoughtful responses, and also take your time in understanding the information and learning the information. I would say the course provides you with a really solid foundation and a lot of information. Time consuming, I think it depends on how quickly you study and how quickly you retain information. But the answer to your question, I think the important answer is absolutely you can go at your own pace. I think a lot of people attend this course while maintaining a full-time job. A lot of people attend this course while maintaining a full-time job and a family. So, obviously their time is going to be more limited than someone who is just focusing on the coursework, and they're able to go at their own pace and submit their assignments when they've had time to thoughtfully go through everything and submit their answers. So I think that's one of the benefits about the QC school, is that you're able to go at your own pace and learn the information on a time frame that's comfortable to you. Tracy has a really great question. She asks, what would you recommend in terms of organizational systems? Obviously, you're not only organizing a business, but the events that you plan. She would love to hear my thoughts. Well, this is a really great question, Tracy. We organize our events in binders in our studio, where we have a variety of different forms in that binder, which have a ton of information, all of our vendor contracts, all of our rental contracts and invoices are in there. Any information as it pertains to the event is always in the binder, and that's the binder that we take with us to every meeting. It has our handwritten notes in there, the catering menu, floral proposal, everything you could possibly imagine about an event is in that binder, and that binder gets updated as information's updated, and then it's taken with us on event day. It has all of our timelines. It has, a variety of different forms for any kind of scenario, list of all of our vendors or contact information the day of. We have cash payment forms, so if I'm paying someone in cash, they count it in front of me and they sign off on paperwork that says they received this exact amount on this exact day and they were paid in full. Just for liability issues, we have our client's contracts in there. We have a client ledger of all payments received and what they were received for. So there's a variety of different things in our binder, and that's how we organize ourselves with our information. The reason why I use binders is because I don't trust technology. If I can't get a cell signal, I don't want to have to not have an email that's important. If my iPad dies in an event, I don't want all of my information that I need to be along with that. I believe in the old-fashioned way of carrying around documents in a neat and organized way so that I can always find what I need. Everything is sectioned off by tabs, so I flip to a tab that I know the information's there and it's easily at my disposal. In terms of organizing my business, well, we have people who work for us who help us organize the company, obviously accountants and lawyers and all that kind of stuff. I just keep a organized filing system. My computer is organized as best as I can possibly organize it with all the information coming in and out. And you have protocols and procedures, and we have an employee manual that talks about everything from, if there's inclement weather, what to do, how to dress, how to approach a guest at a wedding if they have a question. It talks about every possible scenario and then some. It really goes through every single thing that a person needs to know in working at our company. And the way we devised that was every time somebody had a question, we answered it and then we wrote it down and put it in the protocol and procedures manual. So if somebody had the same question down the road, I could say just refer to the manual. All the answers to your questions are in there. How to set up a timeline, how to do a rental order, when to order rentals, what to do with rentals on the day of, how to package everything up and ship it away, the whole 9 yards. We have all of those questions covered, so there is no questions, and everybody's required to read that when they come work for our company and familiarize themselves with all that information. So I hope that's answered your question. I think the best way to be organized is to use systems that make sense to you. I'm not the kind of person who can use an electronic to-do list and punch in all my stuff, on an app or something like that. Like, I need a pen and a piece of paper to write it down. That's the way that I retain information, is by writing it, not by plugging it into a website and then having to remember to go back to that website to tell me what to do. I have a to-do list on a piece of paper. That's what works for me. But everybody's different, and everybody has organizational systems that are different. So my best advice to you is to work in ways that are comfortable to you and organize your business and your clients' information that makes sense to you. And then train anybody who works for you on the way that you do things. Okay, so I hope that has answered all of your questions. It was really a pleasure of mine to be able to sit down and think of the answers to these questions and, share my experiences with you and give you advice. I do want to say that the QC School is a really fabulous school. I personally would never put my name behind something that I didn't believe in and didn't think was the caliber and had the let me start over. Okay. So that's it for questions. I want to thank you all for submitting such wonderful, thoughtful questions. It was truly my pleasure to have the opportunity to answer them and share my experiences with you guys and give you guys business advice and tips. The QC School has a really fantastic portion to their program where I get to give students audio feedback on the answers that they submit and answer their questions. So if you are one of my students, I encourage you, and you'll know this because I always tell you in our audio feedback, to please ask questions. No question is silly. I'm always available to answer them. I hope the QC School does this Q&A again, because I'd love to do it again. But it was really a great pleasure to answer all of your questions, and I look forward to being the tutor to any new people here who are thinking about signing up for the QC School. I have to tell you, I think it's a really amazing program, and I do not personally put my name on anything that I am, do not fully support and do not fully believe in. It's really an honor for me to be able to do this and to give back to my community. So I want to encourage you that if you're thinking about signing up for the QC School, it really truly is a fabulous school. They really spend a lot of time on their students. They care about their students. They want to hear your feedback. They're always available for questions. Their responses are so quick. I thoroughly enjoy working with them, and they've really built a wonderful curriculum for wedding planning, event planning, and event decor that I think they should be really proud of. And it's going to supply you with a lot of tremendous information that you otherwise wouldn't know. So it truly is, I think, the first step to making a career shift by, continuing your education. There's always something you can learn. And whenever you enter a new career, it's so important to know as much as you can so that you can have a leg up on your competition and obviously be able to know what you're doing for your clients, which is really the most important. So thank you guys so much for all of your thoughtful questions. It was truly a joy. I hope I've answered them, and I look forward to the next time we have an opportunity to do a Q&A. So thanks so much, and bye.